Do you ever wonder if you might be doing small things that others notice, but no one tells you about? As we grow older, we sometimes fall into little habits that seem harmless, but without realizing it, these habits can quietly change how people see us. The truth is, most people won't say anything out of respect. They'll smile, nod, and move on. But deep down, they notice. This video isn't about judging anyone. It's about awareness. Because once you recognize these small mistakes, you can easily fix them. And those small changes can make a big difference in how people treat you, how confident you feel, and how much warmth you receive from those around you. So stay with me until the end of this video, because each point might open your eyes to something you never realized before. By the end, you'll see how a few simple changes can help you feel more respected, more confident, and more connected. And before we begin, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Which state are you in? I'd love to know where you're tuning in from today. 1. Poor posture in public. One of the first things people notice, especially about older adults, is posture. You might not even think about it, but the way you stand or walk silently communicates how confident and energetic you are. A slouched back, lowered head, or drooping shoulders might feel more comfortable, but it can unintentionally make you look tired, weak, or uninterested. People rarely mention it, yet they notice it instantly. Good posture isn't just about appearance. It affects your mood, confidence, and even health. When you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head high, you look more alert and feel stronger inside. Psychologists say posture influences how we think about ourselves. When we carry our body with pride, we automatically feel more capable and positive. I once met a woman named Grace in her early 70s who always looked cheerful and confident. Her secret wasn't fancy clothes or makeup, it was her posture. She made it a habit to straighten her back every time she stood up and practiced light stretches every morning. Within weeks, she noticed she felt more energetic, and people began treating her differently, more warmly, with more respect. The good news is, improving posture doesn't require a gym membership or equipment. Just a few minutes of mindful stretching, walking tall, and reminding yourself to lift your chin can change everything. So next time you step outside, don't look down, look forward. You've earned your strength. Let the world see it every time you walk by. 2. Speaking too loudly. Many older adults speak louder than they realize, and it often happens for a simple reason. Our hearing changes with age. To make up for it, we naturally raise our voice. But while it might feel normal to you, others can find it startling or uncomfortable, especially in quiet places like restaurants, family gatherings, or church. People usually won't mention it out of respect, but they do notice. Speaking too loudly can unintentionally send the wrong message. It may come across as impatience, frustration, or a lack of awareness, even when that's not what you mean at all. Conversations feel more comfortable when voices are calm and natural. When your tone is softer, people are more likely to open up, stay engaged, and truly enjoy talking with you. The good news is, this habit is easy to fix. If you find yourself often asking others to repeat themselves, it might be time for a hearing check. Many people today use small, nearly invisible hearing aids that make conversations effortless again. Once your hearing improves, your tone naturally softens. I once met a friendly man named Leonard who spoke loudly without realizing it. His grandchildren often stepped back when he talked. After getting a hearing aid, his voice became gentle again, and suddenly everyone wanted to sit closer to him. So, if people sometimes lean away or look surprised when you speak, it's nothing to feel bad about. Just a small change in awareness can make every conversation warmer and more enjoyable. 3. Dressing without care. Another mistake many older adults make, and one that people instantly notice, is not paying attention to how they dress. Over time, comfort becomes the top priority, and that's perfectly understandable. But here's something most people don't realize. How you present yourself affects not just how others see you, but how you feel inside. Your clothes send silent messages before you ever speak a word. A clean, well-fitted outfit quietly says, "I care about myself," while wrinkled shirts, worn-out shoes, or mismatched clothes can unintentionally give the impression that you've stopped trying. Now, this isn't about fashion or trends. It's about self-respect and the pride you take in your appearance. When you look put together, even in something simple, you feel more confident and people treat you with more warmth. Psychology studies show that when we make a little effort in our grooming or clothing, our mood naturally improves and we project more positive energy. I remember an older gentleman named George who used to wear the same sweater every day, no matter the season. His granddaughter once teased him, saying he looked ready for winter in the middle of June. He laughed, but the comment stuck with him. The next week, he started wearing brighter shirts and well-fitted pants. Within days, people began complimenting him, and he said he felt younger and more confident. So next time you're getting ready to go out, take a few extra minutes. Neat, clean, and comfortable is enough to show the world you still take pride in yourself. 4. Repeating the same stories over and over. One of the most common habits older adults fall into, often without realizing it, is repeating the same stories over and over. You might tell a memory that's meaningful to you, not knowing you've already shared it before. But people around you notice, even if they don't say anything out of kindness or respect. They smile, nod, and listen politely, but inside, they've already heard it. Now, this doesn't happen because you're forgetful. It's something very natural. As we age, our brains tend to reach for familiar paths. Old memories are easy to recall, and we find comfort in retelling the moments that once made us laugh, cry, or feel proud. But when the same stories come up again and again, it can unintentionally make others tune out or feel like you're not fully present in the moment. A little awareness can fix this easily. Try to balance old stories with new experiences, even small ones, something you read, a show you watched, or a person you met. You can also add a little humor if you realize you're repeating something. I once met a lovely woman named Evelyn who used to say, "If I've told you this before, just pretend it's a good rerun." People loved her for it. It made everyone laugh and kept the mood light. So don't stop sharing your stories. They're part of who you are. Just sprinkle in a few new ones now and then. People will stay engaged, and you'll feel more connected in every conversation. 5. Ignoring personal appearance. Many older adults stop paying attention to the small details in their appearance, thinking it doesn't matter anymore. But it actually matters more than you might think. Simple things like combing your hair, trimming your nails, wearing clean clothes, or polishing your shoes send a clear message: I still care about myself. When those small habits fade, people notice, even if they don't say it out loud. This isn't about looking younger or following modern trends. It's about self-respect and the quiet confidence that comes from taking care of yourself. When you make a small effort, like wearing a well-fitted shirt or putting on fresh clothes, you don't just look better, you feel better. You walk taller, smile more, and naturally project warmth and pride. I once knew a kind man named Walter who wore the same jacket every day. His daughter gently told him, "Dad, you look tired even when you're not." He took her advice, bought a new pair of shoes, got a haircut, and started wearing brighter colors. Within days, people began complimenting him, and he felt more alive than he had in years. Taking care of your appearance isn't vanity. It's a reflection of dignity, confidence, and self-worth. It reminds the world and yourself that you still matter. 6. Talking too much about illness. One of the easiest traps older adults fall into is talking too much about health problems. It often starts innocently. You want to share what you're going through or talk about your doctor visits. But when every conversation turns into a discussion about pain, pills, or test results, it can unintentionally make others feel uncomfortable or even drained. People care about you, but constant talk about illness can make interactions feel heavy, and sometimes friends or family begin to visit less often without saying why. It's completely normal to want understanding and support, but balance is key. You can share what you're going through and then gently shift the topic towards something uplifting, your hobbies, memories, or the people you love. It shows others that despite challenges, you still have curiosity and life in you. I once met a woman named Diana, who used to start nearly every conversation by listing her health issues. One day she realized her friends stopped calling as often. So she made a small change. Each time she mentioned her arthritis, she also added something positive, like how she tried a new recipe or watched a funny movie. Within weeks, her phone started ringing again. People wanted to talk to her, not out of sympathy, but because her energy felt lighter. So, don't hide your struggles. Just don't let them define every conversation. Let your strength, humor, and wisdom shine brighter than your pain. That's what truly draws people close. Number 7, ignoring modern etiquette. Another mistake many older adults make, often without realizing it, is holding on to outdated manners or social habits that no longer fit today's world. You might make a comment that once seemed friendly or ask a question that used to be normal decades ago, but times have changed, and what was once polite can now feel uncomfortable or even offensive to younger people. For example, asking someone about their weight, income, or when they plan to get married might have felt like simple conversation years ago, but today those topics are considered personal. Younger generations tend to value privacy and sensitivity in social interactions. When older adults overlook these new boundaries, people might feel uneasy, even though they respect your intentions. They usually won't say anything, but they might slowly distance themselves. Being aware of modern etiquette doesn't mean you're giving up your values. It shows that you're adaptable and considerate. It tells others that you care enough to stay in touch with how the world works today. I remember a cheerful man named Franklin, 82 years old. He used to joke about his grandkids' hairstyles and dating lives. His daughter once explained how those comments made them shy away from him. He listened, adjusted, and started asking about their projects, hobbies, and travels instead. Within weeks, his grandkids began visiting more often. Respect evolves with time, and adapting to it shows true wisdom. When you honor today's social manners, you don't lose your identity. You gain connection. 8. Speaking without listening. Many older adults love to share stories and advice, and that's a beautiful thing. You've lived through experiences that others can learn from. But sometimes, without meaning to, you might speak more than you listen. When that happens, people, especially the younger ones, start to feel like their thoughts don't matter. They may still smile and nod, but inside they feel unheard. Listening is one of the most powerful ways to connect with others. When you listen with genuine interest, you make people feel valued. It's not just about being quiet, it's about showing curiosity, asking questions, and letting others finish their thoughts. This simple act can transform a conversation from one-sided to meaningful. I once met a lovely woman named Helen who loved to talk about her past, her job, her children, and the old neighborhood. But she noticed her grandchildren becoming quieter around her. One day she decided to try something different. Instead of starting with her stories, she began asking, "How was your week?" Or, "What are you excited about these days?" To her surprise, her grandchildren opened up more than ever before. They began calling her just to talk, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. When you truly listen, you give others a gift, a sense of being seen and understood. It shows emotional strength, not weakness. So next time you're in a conversation, pause, smile, and listen. You might be amazed at how deeply people start connecting with you again. 9. Overlooking small details in appearance. Sometimes as we get older, we start thinking that the little things no longer matter, like polishing our shoes, ironing a shirt, or brushing our hair neatly before stepping out. But the truth is, those small details speak volumes. People notice them instantly, even if they never say a word. A wrinkled shirt, uncombed hair, or worn-out shoes might seem minor, but they quietly influence how others perceive your energy and confidence. These small habits don't just affect how others see you, they affect how you see yourself. When you take a few minutes to care for those details, you feel more alive, more present, and more in control. It's not about trying to look perfect or impress anyone. It's about self-respect. And when you carry that respect for yourself, people automatically reflect it back to you. I remember a kind man named Arthur, who loved taking morning walks around his neighborhood. For years, he wore the same faded sweatpants and slippers. One day, he decided to change things up, put on a crisp shirt, proper shoes, and combed his hair neatly. The next morning, he noticed something surprising. His neighbors greeted him more warmly, smiled wider, and even stopped to chat. Arthur said, "All I did was dress better, but it felt like the world suddenly saw me again." The message is simple. Small things matter. When you take care of those tiny details, you remind yourself and everyone around you that you're still strong, confident, and engaged with life. Life after 60 is a beautiful stage, filled with wisdom, experience, and stories that deserve to be shared. But as we've seen, small habits can quietly change how others see us and how we feel about ourselves. The goal isn't to be perfect or impress anyone, it's to stay aware and present. When you stand tall, speak kindly, listen openly, and care for your appearance, you're reminding the world and yourself that you still have strength, pride, and purpose. These gentle changes don't take much, but they bring back confidence, respect, and connection. They help you feel noticed, valued, and full of life again. So, take these reminders with kindness, not criticism, and choose one small thing to improve starting today. You'll be amazed at how it lifts your spirit. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which state are you watching from? I'd love to hear from you.